Welcome back, everybody, to this Zero to Hero series. And my name is Civic Dude, and we are doing a series here of playing the Molten Strike of the Zenith build that Connor, or One Mana Left, has put together. This has always been a build that I wanted to play. It looks super fun, and I thought that the Legacy of Phrecia League would be the right time to play this build. So, we are now in the second video. We've made some updates, some progress since the last time. We're now level 91. We have actually switched over to Molten Strike of the Zenith. We did this switch over about level 89 was when we did it. We're still very early on in the build. As you can see here, we're still using just a dual elemental sword. We're not even using the correct strength stacking techniques just yet. But we've made the switch. It's feeling really great. And there's a lot of things we want to cover off to show you exactly what we're doing now and how you can hopefully get started on this build as well. I did level as Sunder all the way up to level 89. I didn't put a ton of investment into it, and so it started to fall off pretty hard about that point. I was topping off about T8, T9, T10 maps, and it started to feel pretty bad, or at least not great about that point of the playthrough. So we switched over to Molten Strike of the Zenith, and it's starting to feel really good now. Early on, when we made the switch, I did end up dumping a lot of my currency into trying to craft a singular cluster jewel, of which I'm going to probably need 3. But this singular jewel over here for attack speed is really what we need this for. So Martial Mastery and Martial Prowess both give you really good attack speed. And you have a good, reliable way, usually, of crafting these using dense, pristine, and shuddering fossils. It's usually supposed to be like a 1 in 15, 1 in 16 chance. I feel like it took me at least 20 or so to get that. And so that kind of took a lot of my early currency, which was not that great, but, you know, that's how it goes. So let's go back here real quick to see what else we did. Here in the passive tree, since the last time, we've also done the rest of our labs. I can't remember if I had Merc Lab from the last video, but we've got all 4 labs done now. And so the last thing that we picked up from the very last Uber lab was the Ancestral Reach. This particular point is useless to us until we go into Molten Strike of the Zenith, because Sunder is not a strike skill. And so until I made the switch over to Molten Strike, I actually just picked up the small node here and the small node here because that was more useful to me than this useless node when I was running Sunder. Once we pick this up, though, it really increases our strike range with Molten Strike, and so it's really a huge quality of life to the build. So it's super, super good for this build if you're going to play this build as well. Like I said, I've also picked up an Ellie sword. This is an absolute piece of garbage starter sword. You do not want to use this late into the end game at all. It is not where the goal that you are striving for. The goal is going to be a Shell Shaper and Elder influenced sword with things like fire damage per strength, with things like endurance charge on melee stun, more attack damage, lots of attack speed. You want to try and get as much attack speed as possible on this sword. But for now, this is good to get me started, and it is definitely helping me understand how this build plays, and it's just enough damage for now to definitely get me through the content where I'm at. Additionally, we've also picked up a couple of uniques here. So Iron Fortress is really good for this build because it increases the natural melee fizz damage increase that you get from strength from 1 per 5 to 3 per 10 strength. So I think that's a 150% increase of what you normally get from strength. So that's super good in this case for this build. We also picked up Crown of Eyes, and in conjunction with Crown of Eyes, we picked up Iron Will. So basically what this does is it takes all of our strength damage bonus that we get, so increased melee fizz, converts it to spell damage, and converts it to spell damage at 150% of its value. So long story short, this gives us over 400, at this point with 940 strength. We have over 400, I think over 420% increased damage just from these two items and this notable alone. So that's super helpful. The rest of our gear here is actually not that great. I think most of this, you know, you could get on a pretty easy low budget, honestly. None of this gear is super good at all. I did start to do a little bit of influencing here to try and get attack speed on the gloves, as well as action speed on the boots, because again, we want as much attack speed as possible. Just goes to help the build immensely. We've also added triple LE flasks as well as a chaos flask here with instilling orbs just to automate and also add extra defense to the build. So now with those, we are at, I believe, let me see here, 83 and 82 max res. So that's super helpful for just extra defense on the build. Really good there. I am going to run a quick showcase here. Like I said, I am still early on in the game, so I haven't even gotten all the way up to T16s yet. You can see here on the maps that we've got completed, like we've gone all the way up. I think I did one T14 so far, so we're still very early on. But I actually had a good strand show up in my Kirak missions over here that I was going to run for you guys. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to finish the build, or finish the video here with this map. I'm going to link my current path of building in the video, and I'm also going to include a link to Connor's original video on this build. If you guys are curious and you want to follow along, go visit that. He explains all the mechanics of this build very well, and he's been doing this build for many leagues at this point, and so he's got it down to a science. And so go check out his video. And hope you guys enjoy this map, and hope you guys are following along and enjoying this Legacy of Phrecia event as much as I am. It's been a lot of fun so far. But until then, until the next video, hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you next time.